Banks are built to be impenetrable fortresses, designed to protect money and gold. But sometimes, these very fortifications become deadly traps. Today, we are re-exploring some of the most horrifying and tragic deaths that have occurred inside and around banks, where security systems failed, human error led to disaster, and greed turned deadly. These aren't just robberies. They are stories of lives lost in the pursuit of wealth and security. Let's start in Reno, Nevada. On a scorching afternoon in August 1978, 3 employees of the Western National Bank manager, Carl Hughes, clerk Denise Porter, and technician Robert Morales entered the underground vault. The vault, built decades earlier, had a notoriously faulty time lock system. Staff had complained for years, but their warnings were ignored. As they worked to recalibrate the timer, the nearly 5,000-pound steel door, known for swinging shut, did just that. A security guard, unaware they were inside, had accidentally triggered the lock while testing the alarm system. Instantly, the 3 were sealed inside a steel box. Panic set in as temperatures soared and the air grew thin. They banged on the door, their desperate attempts leaving bloody handprints and dents on the inner surface. But the vault was built to keep people out. It took rescue teams over 7 agonizing hours to drill through the thick steel. By the time they broke through, it was too late. All 3 had suffocated. This preventable tragedy forced a change, leading to new federal laws requiring redundant override systems on all U.S. bank vaults. Now let's travel to Los Angeles in March of 1980. On a quiet Sunday night, a military-trained robbery crew, known for their brutality, stormed the Security Pacific Bank. 5 masked men entered through a rear loading dock where 4 night shift employees were working. The robbers forced the staff to their knees, but a silent alarm had already been tripped. Panicked, one attacker fired a shot, striking the assistant manager. Chaos erupted. In a horrifying act of violence, the robbers executed the remaining 3 employees before grabbing what they could and fleeing. Their haul was less than $34,000, a pittance compared to the lives lost. The city was gripped by a massive manhunt. 3 of the robbers were killed in shootouts with police, and the 4th was sentenced to life without parole. The event is still remembered as one of the deadliest bank killings in American history. Our next story takes us to Brazil. In August 2005, this wasn't a heist of brute force, but of incredible engineering and criminal ambition. For 3 months, a team of 36 criminals dug a 256-foot tunnel directly beneath the Banco Central in Fortaleza. It was an elaborate construction, complete with lighting, ventilation, and reinforced walls. But the ground beneath the city was saturated with water, making the structure unstable. On the night of the heist, during the final push, disaster struck. A section of the tunnel collapsed, burying 2 of the crew's most experienced diggers under tons of wet earth. Their bodies would only be found after the robbery was complete. In a chilling display of cold-blooded focus, the rest of the gang pressed on, stealing over $70 million worth of Brazilian reals. It was Brazil's largest bank robbery, but it was also a tomb for the men who built the path to the fortune. Fire is another silent killer. In Johannesburg, May 1993, an electrical short circuit ignited a fire at the Metropolitan Reserve Bank. Themba Nkosi, the overnight vault inspector, was making his rounds when smoke began to fill the corridors. In a cruel twist of fate, the bank's ventilation system, designed to clear smoke, instead pumped it directly into the vault access chamber, trapping him. He frantically swiped his keycard, trying to escape, but the fire had caused a power grid failure, locking every security door. Firefighters arrived to find the chamber filled with a lethal concentration of smoke. Themba Nkosi was found near the keypad, having died from carbon monoxide poisoning while making one last desperate attempt to override the system. His death led to a global push for redesigned fire systems and manual emergency releases in banks. Sometimes the danger isn't inside the bank, but right at its front door. In Mumbai, July 1992, rumors spread that the Eastern Cooperative Bank was failing and refusing to let people withdraw their money. Panic ensued. Thousands of depositors swarmed the branch, desperate to get their life savings. Fear turned to anger, and the crowd grew uncontrollable. Just before noon, a locked metal security gate, unable to withstand the immense pressure of the crowd, buckled and collapsed. Hundreds of people were thrust forward in a terrifying human wave. Some were crushed against the inner glass doors, which shattered, causing even more chaos and injury. By the time police managed to restore order, 6 people had died in the stampede. The rumors turned out to be true. The bank was insolvent. This tragic event became a turning point for banking in India, forcing institutions to be transparent about their financial health and to implement proper crowd control protocols. A single person can also create immense tragedy. In Manila, January 2008, a former security guard, fired for misconduct, returned to his old workplace with a shotgun. He took everyone inside the Philippine National Bank hostage, demanding his job back and national media attention. Negotiators tried to reason with him for hours, but tensions only rose. When 2 customers made a bold attempt to escape, the gunman opened fire, killing both and injuring 3 others. After 6 hours of failed negotiations, police finally stormed the bank. The gunman managed to shoot 2 more hostages before he was taken down by police. The siege highlighted a major flaw in security protocols, leading to a nationwide overhaul of how private security guards are vetted and monitored. Our final story comes from Vienna, 1973. Beneath the city, many old bank vaults were connected to an outdated 19th century drainage system. During a sudden violent storm, one of these channels clogged. Water pressure began building beneath the Steinmark National Bank. Inside the vault, 2 locksmiths were busy repairing a jammed lock. They had no idea what was coming. Without warning, a massive surge of pressure caused river water to burst through the floor vents. The vault flooded in an instant, trapping both men. Rescue efforts were slow and difficult. The narrow corridors and lack of drainage made it nearly impossible to pump the water out. Both engineers drowned before rescue teams could break through the vault's massive wall. This bizarre and tragic incident led to the creation of modern waterproof vault standards across Europe. From suffocation in locked vaults to stampedes outside, these stories reveal the hidden dangers lurking within institutions we trust. They are grim reminders that whether through flawed design, human error, or sheer violence, the places built to protect our wealth can sometimes fail tragically at protecting human life. These events, though horrific, have forced banks and governments to create safer systems, ensuring that history does not repeat itself. Thanks for watching. And if you found this exploration into history compelling, be sure to like and subscribe for more.